Hey, what's up everyone? Alex back here with another video for the SAIO app, System Artificial Intelligence Othello application. So today we're going to be talking about setting up the board. So there is a special feature. I think it's also available on WZebra when you use it on the computer, but not so much on the mobile app if you were to use like Reversatile or other softwares. I think this is probably one of the main softwares, SAIO application that is available for you to kind of set up customized positions, or for example if you were kind of watching a game midway through, maybe like a live broadcast or the World Othello Championship, and you didn't really want to kind of go through the entire full sequence, but instead you just wanted to manually set up the board, or even if you wanted to just kind of look at a hypothetical position or a certain shape, and from that shape what kind of position or what kind of rating would actually be read by the software, you could actually use this feature of setting up the board. For example, XOT openings, where you have random openings and maybe you kind of chance upon that opening just on the opening position, but you are not aware of the opening sequence, you can also use this feature. So all you have to do is just go to tools at the bottom, and then we go to show advanced tools on the top, the third option over here, edit board. And once we select edit board, you can see it goes into edit mode, and you can see the default position. All you have to do is tap one time and a black disk is placed. You tap another time, it becomes a white disk, and you tap one more time for a black disk, and basically you can choose the disk. So if you want to do a hypothetical position, what you could do is just simply populate the disks this way. So let's just say that, maybe I wanted to read this hypothetical position, right? What I would do is I could just tap on edit mode, and it will go to toggle through the library modes or the evaluation of all moves or best moves, and you'll be able to see what's the rating. So how do you know whose turn it is? Just look at the black and white here. Black with the time and the asterisk sign right next to it means that it's black's turn. So if we were to kind of populate this on a 16 disk, that's just assuming there's no skip of move. Naturally, it should be black's turn. And you would most likely click on, toggle through the mode to see the evaluation. So let's say if we just toggle through, evaluate best, you'll know that, hey, in this hypothetical position that we've created, it's kind of like a -8 for black, and the best moves could be either on F2 or maybe G5 that it was being read earlier. So this is just a hypothetical position. And if you want to evaluate all, it will just bring up all the ratings on the remaining moves. So obviously in this position, if it's black's turn, it seems to be at a disadvantage for black. So if you toggle through this way, you wouldn't be able to go back to edit mode, because simply that, you've already kind of toggled out of the edit mode. So let's just go back and show advanced tools and go to edit board. And once we click on edit board, we go back to the edit mode. We hold on to this edit mode, and we change it to white's turn. So after you hold on to edit mode for a while, you can see the kind of timing goes over to white and the asterisk sign. It means that it's white's turn to play. And if we then kind of hypothetically use the same position, and let's just say that right now it's white's turn to move. Let's just check out the rating. If we hit on a few times, we can look at evaluate best, we can see evaluate all. So you can tell that, hey, in Othello, if it's black's turn to move, black is required to flip 2 more discs, 3 more discs, and create more moves for your opponent. So in fact, the software was kind of reading black to be in a -8 or -10 position if it's black's turn. And over here, interestingly, in this exact same position, if we just toggle it to white's turn and look at white's viable options, you can see white is actually losing. So in this kind of interesting shape, both sides would be losing if it's their turn. So that's kind of in line with the general logic about Othello, and basically about having to retain as much mobility as possible, because you want to have as many moves and options as possible. So probably fewer of your discs. So if it's your turn to play, it means that there's a higher chance that you create more discs for your opponent to kind of have more options. So yeah, it's kind of natural and intuitive to kind of see that, hey, if it's white's turn, white seems to be losing in this position, and if it's black's turn, black would be the one losing. So this is kind of interesting. And of course, if you were to kind of like just go back to put it into the edit mode, so we can continue kind of just setting up the board if you wanted something like more established, like an interesting edge shape, maybe some combination of unbalanced edges. So yeah, over here while you're setting up the board outside of the center four, if you tap one more time, after black and white, you actually can create an empty square. So if I wanted to remove this, and out of mistake of setting up the board, I could slot this in as black. So let's just hypothetically say like this, right? So right now, let's say if it's white's turn, is white kind of leading here? We want to know, is white leading, even with so few discs? And right now it's white's turn. Yeah, if we just kind of read the position, we will know that potentially white could go to B1 and sacrifice the corner, and then slot into A2, kind of wrap up the corner from this side. So white should be, in theory, leading by quite a bit over here. So what natural sequence that we might expect is like maybe, I don't know, B1, A1, A2, B2, followed by white going to A8, black going to G7, and white, and white throughout to kind of wipe out the disk on the right. So let's just go. So you can see, okay, so white is indeed leading by a lot. Right now it's white's turn, so I guess the best move wasn't B1, but instead B2 in this situation, because it's a solid double wall where you can just kind of sandwich in between. So interesting to note this feature, and I think it's very useful for everyone to kind of know, and it's kind of like a hidden feature when you need to know that, on the edit mode, when you toggle into the edit mode, you need to hold on to it to kind of change colors. So I think that's something that is less intuitive, but it's kind of like an inbuilt hidden feature for the setup board option. So hopefully you guys like this feature of this SAIO app. If you like it, please go and download the software, use it for evaluation and kind of research purposes. So hopefully this video has benefited all of you, and I'll see you guys in the next episode for more details on the SAIO app. Goodbye.